Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Santa Clara for Super Bowl, what is it, 60? I think it's 60. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Friday, February 6th, 2025, and this right here, the thing that you are watching is, well, it's the Unhappy Hour, but it's specifically strictly football here on the new American media because the old American media has failed you. Yes, we're going to bring in Mike Barra and Jim Mitchell. Our season 2, episode 29 is going to be a Super Bowl preview show. We have some updates. We have some injuries. We have the NFL awards that were all handed out yesterday, along with an awesomely hilarious list of fake awards to give out. We're going to talk about the lines. Lines, Lines, betting trends and such. And we're going to talk about, well, there's ancillary things. Izzy told us about some advertisement that was leaked, and he felt a certain way about it. We'll see if he wants to bring that up. We're going to talk about maybe the halftime show, just anything Super Bowl related, everything goes. So hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend, Rumble Rant, Super Chats, all that jazz. The show begins right now.
I'm Aaron Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.
Thank you all for being here. Season 2, episode 29. It's been a wild ride, and I can't believe we are at the end of the... I feel like... Mike Barra, maybe we need to bring in Boys to Men to start singing End of the Road, because we've reached the end of the road of this season almost.
Yeah, I know. It's been amazing. It's been fast. It's one game left, and my team is in it, and that is about as exciting as it can get. So let's hope something cool happens on Sunday.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you and Jim. I mean, you know, we document this season that there's a lot, 17 games, all the preset, like the draft, a lot goes into this, and you guys are in it. You got a chance. Hopefully one of these days.
I'd like to say either one of us saw it coming, but I don't think we did. So I can't speak for Jim, but it is cool.
If we saw it coming, Mike, we would have made a bet.
That's true. Y'all being in Vegas, that is in your backyard, and you love your bets, that's for sure. I can bet that my Browns, well, I'm hoping. I would bet my Browns will improve next year, but we'll get to that in a minute. We get Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schwessinger, Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous, Myles Garrett. And so what do? We make sure that we push our defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, out of the building, make it make sense. Ezrael Pickens, let's welcome him into the program. Izzy, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Happy
doing great. Yeah, you too.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's get into it. I mean, there's so many angles we could cover. We were briefly talking in pregame about some of the health status for the players involved for It is Super Bowl 60, correct?
6-0, yeah.
Okay. So
Seahawks were in Super Bowl XL, and now they're in Super Bowl LX. So, pretty wild.
That's like a yin and yang kind of thing, like the snake eating its tail. I don't know. Well, we were talking in the pregame about just the health updates. Maybe we could start with the health of the players on the teams. I don't know if we want to go there. Mike, what are you thinking? What's on your mind the most? I obviously want to get to the NFL awards, but I figure we'll focus on the Super Bowl preview first.
Well, I mean, to start with, Nick Manwari injured himself in practice on Wednesday. The good thing is it's a low ankle sprain, not a high, so he'll probably play on Sunday. How close he'll be to 100%, I don't know. But that's a blow. I mean, this is an impact player for the defense as a rookie. And there are some people who are saying, well, it's not going to matter. I'm not going to, one guy is not going to make or break this game for the Seahawks. But you want to go in 100%. And it sucks because the Seahawks have a history in Super Bowls of getting in-game injuries and injuries the week of practice. In 2005, they lost Marcus Tubbs, starting defensive tackle, high-quality player. On the inside, they lost him during the game. They lost Ken Hamlin, probably their best safety right before the game, and the Steelers took advantage of that on a flea flicker kind of play with Antoine Randall throwing a touchdown pass against the backup safety. And that, of course, it was the refs that cost them that game anyway. But let's not go there. And then Super Bowl 49 against the Patriots. Richard Sherman had a dislocated left elbow. Earl Thomas had a separated right shoulder, could barely lift his arm. Cam Chancellor, the day before the game, torn MCL, had to play with a torn MCL. Cliff Averill goes out with a concussion in the third quarter, and late in the third quarter, and they can't rush the passer after that. And the Patriots had not scored since early in the first quarter into the end of the third quarter. They didn't score until Averill went out, and they only had Michael Bennett left to rush the passer, really. So that hurt him. And Jeremy Lane intercepts Brady in the first quarter, returns it, breaks his arm, and tears his ACL on the tackle. So they lost their nickel back, and again, and that defense had, they say, oh, Brady beat the Legion of Boom. He beat a shell of the Legion of Boom because they already had 4 or 5 starters out coming into the game, and then now all these other injuries. So this has been a pattern, and it scares me because when they've lost the 2 Super Bowls that they've lost, they've had a lot of injuries like that. So you just keep your fingers crossed and hope for game number 20 here, or 21, that they can stay healthy and that this isn't a big deal. But you never know. You don't know. You hope not.
Yeah. And Jim, with all of the injuries on both sides, we haven't seen a lot of change in many of the betting trends, right? You haven't noticed a big shift one way or the other per se.
No, the game opened at 4.5, and surprisingly enough, it's still 4.5, which is an indicator that there's even money on both sides. So the betting public probably seems to think that these teams are not necessarily even, but there are an equal amount of bettors on both sides.
I thought after that injury, I thought the line might move a point or something. Like people might start betting a little more on the Patriots, but it didn't happen. So
well, I projected it like we talked about last week. I projected this game to open at 6.5. And as I stated before, once it opened at 4.5, normally people that would bet regularly would jump on that number after all their calculations said that the game should open at 6.5. But again, some of the trends that we looked at last week pretty much indicated that this game on paper is pretty much dead even, except for that last stat, which is just an obscure off-the-wall stat, and it doesn't apply to every Super Bowl, because the reason it doesn't apply to every Super Bowl is that not every number 1 seed team actually makes the game through the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and it's that stat is probably more of an aberration, but it is, you can't really argue with a 0 and 10 number going into the big game, and that's something to not only consider but highly consider, because it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Something I want to bring up, which is really bizarre, and Izzy, you're gonna love this shit. My brother saw a thing, and I'm gonna share a different screen here, Brian. Well, my brother saw a thing, just a video somebody made a TikTok that of like a year and a half ago that said the Super Bowl this year is going to be the Patriots and the Seahawks are going to win 25-20. That's the script. And then this thing came out this week, which I want to show you guys. Well, let's just go through it and talk about it. And let me play it for you right here. I'll share the new tab. and play this video. And as soon as we're ready, I'll hit the button. So just listen and watch this.
Now hold on.
I have the script.
Before we do this, Mike, when did this come out? You saying this was before
Just
the
2
year?
days ago. No, my brother had seen a thing
Oh, okay.
like a year ago that the Seahawks were going to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl and win 25-20. And then this comes out 3 days ago, 3 days ago. All right, so let's watch it.
For this year's Super Bowl. The national anthem will go under 120 and a half seconds. The coin toss will be tails won by the Seahawks. The first play of the game will be a run to Ramondre Stevenson. The first touchdown scorer will be Hunter Henry, and the Pats will be leading at halftime. However, after Bad Bunny sings over 11 and a half songs at halftime, the Seahawks come out firing. Sam Darnold throws 2 touchdown passes, and one of them goes to JSN. There will also be an octopus scored in this game, but we will not see a field goal doink. The Seahawks end up holding on for the win, with the game going under 45 and a half points. Mike McDonald is drenched in blue Gatorade, with Sam Darnold winning Super Bowl MVP. As a decade later, the Seattle Seahawks are once again crowned the best team in the NFL. I have the script for this year's Super Bowl.
Okay, so that's the video. Now,
Really quick, what's an octopus? That's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion?
Jim, do you know what an octopus is? I think it's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Yeah.
I just know it's a cephalopod.
So here's the thing about it that's really interesting. If you look at the over-under, 45.5, this guy says it's the under. They hit the under, which would be 45 points, which could be a score of 25-20, exactly like this other video that came out a year ago. And the thing that I like in there, Jim, is Hunter Henry to score the first touchdown is plus 1,400. If that's still the number, I'm heading up to the casino as soon as it's over and laying $20 on Hunter Henry, because I'm looking at about, what, 15 grand, 14 grand, something like that. Let me get a calculation. 20 times...
They're plus what?
28,000. Yeah, it's plus 1,400 that Hunter Henry scores the first touchdown.
So that's plus 1,400 based on laying 100.
I do not know.
So it'd be 1,400 times.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it, but
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, what if it comes out that way? What are you guys going to think if those things come true? Izzy, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. One thing I do have to say
Is he going to make a 15-team parlay on this? I mean,
No.
yeah, I wouldn't advise that. But yeah,
exactly.
it's an interesting video, but I can say there's a lot of videos out there that's like that, with a lot of sports bettors that are like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, do with that information as. But it is pretty interesting to see that bets put up to think about.
And Izzy, let me ask you about Eamon Worry. I mean, you've been singing his praises all year long. You love the guy. Are you concerned about the ankle? Like, they expect him to play, but I mean, how concerned are you about that?
I mean, not that much. You know, of course, he's going to play. It's just a question of who's going to be a factor for him to re-injure that ankle, or what scenario is going to be in there for him to re-injure that ankle. And I really don't see Ramondre doing it. I really don't see Travion Henderson doing it. The only realistic person I technically see is possibly a deep ball over the middle. The Patriots do like to go deep or on the outside, and he's trying to make a huge play or something to the tight end. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. So he should be healthy and ready to go to play on Sunday.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, Eamon Worry is a huge difference maker on the team. He's like the defense exceptional, because he can do things.
He's like Derwin James on the Seahawks.
Or you know, even Kyle Hamilton. He's the next Kyle Hamilton, it looks like to me. And of course, McDonald had a hand in developing him, and so to not have him at 100%, it's gonna hurt. I mean, it's gonna hurt if he's not 100%.
Yeah, if you have a defensive back that's out, historically, it won't change a point spread unless you're talking about somebody like a Deion Sanders, you know, that can actually change a game. But you know, a DB is not going to usually move the number. Usually the players, the positions that will move a number. Of course, number one is the quarterback. and believe it or not, number two that will move a number is a left tackle or a left guard. If you get those people off, because they're protecting the blind side of the quarterback if the quarterback is a right-handed quarterback.
Of course. Let me just buzz through what at least Grok is telling me. It's AI, so some of this could be bunk, but it's at least what Elon's outlet is saying. Some of the injuries, of course, Sam Darnold, oblique. He was limited earlier in the week, upgraded to full participant on Thursday, expected to play and start. No major concerns. Does anyone here in the room have any concerns about the quarterback? Any for Darnold?
Well, no, I mean, he threw for 345 yards last game against the Rams. So I'm not too concerned about Darnold. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, they'll probably just shoot him up. Hopefully the San Diego Charger doctor is not shooting him up, but he'll. That's not a concern. I mean, the way he played 2 weeks ago, an oblique injury is it's probably it's like Richard Pryor said. I've got this side cramp when I'm running, and the side cramp is telling me I'm going to be hanging with you the next 2 miles. It's a noticeable antagonistic pain, but he'll play through it.
Is he any concerns from you? You pretty good? You've seen enough?
Yeah, I mean, he played against the Rams last week. I mean, anything can happen, but I mean, it's been enough time rest even before he played, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, well, obviously, quarterback being the most important position. Some of the other ones they have listed, of course, Eamon Worry rolled his ankle Wednesday, fully expects to play, low sprain, being cautious. Other limited and full participants, linebacker Ernest Jones, chest, full participant, offensive tackle Josh Jones, ankle, knee, full participant, fullback Robbie Oost's neck, limited. He missed the NFC Championship, but he's trending positive. Left tackle Charles Cross with a foot, limited. Wide receiver Jake Bobo with a hand, full. And several others like Jackson Smith and Jigba got rest. Leonard Williams got rest, not injury related. Gentlemen, anything there that worries you, or we're all good on that?
I saw Charles Cross did not participate in practice either today or yesterday. So that would concern me more than a defensive back, since Charles Cross is on the offensive line. I would be more concerned with that, not a DB.
Right. Well, limited in practice, they have him listed as. Now,
yeah, I mean, it was interesting because I saw some people talking about Cross yesterday about how fantastic he was against the Rams. So it's important that he plays and plays well. So it's a little bit of a concern, but if he was limited rather than completely out of practice, then it's not as big a concern.
Yeah, we're talking about practice.
Talking about practice, man.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's not like, look, we got to just kind of be clear on this. There's games, and then there's practice. Let's not get it mixed up. Let's not get this twisted.
What are we talking about?
Don't talk about playoffs,
Practice?
playoffs,
Practice?
playoffs,
Practice?
playoffs.
Listen, we talking about practice.
I just hope we can win a game.
Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
You kidding me?
That's awesome. Let's keep that one. That's that one for next year. That's
Jim, that was a perfect throw. You are the John Stockton to my Karl Malone. That was absolutely fantastic, Jim. Thank you so much for that. Playoffs practice. All right, let's get back to the Patriots now. Quarterback Drake May, they have him listed. What is he suffering from? A right shoulder and an illness. He was questionable earlier, but cleared to a full participant. He's good to go and confident for the game. Gentlemen, that's the other quarterback. A right shoulder something and some sort of illness. Any thoughts on Drake May on the Patriots?
I have some thoughts. I saw, if you watch Ross Tucker, who's a commentator, used to be an offensive lineman in the league. He's
Cleveland Brown, by the way. I like
Cleveland Brown, Ross Tucker.
He's kind of a doofus, but he's, I met him once. He's good. I met him when he was Super Bowl. Good guy. And, but he was on another show. I think it was another podcast show like ESPN or something, and he was saying, he goes, people are saying this is no big deal with Drake May, but he pointed out that on Media Day on Tuesday, that when Drake May was sitting there and talking and answering questions, he had his right arm kind of like this. Yeah. And everything when he was talking and motioning, he wasn't using two hands. He was just using his left hand. So there are three possibilities here. This is the Patriots, right? One, they want you to think he's injured, but he's not. So he did this theatrical thing. Two, he really is injured to the point that he's protecting that shoulder a little bit. Or three, he just naturally talks only with his left hand, which I think is the least likely possibility. So there's a possibility that Drake May's injury is a little bit worse than people think it is.
You saying he's half Italian? You're saying he's half Italian then, right?
Yeah, he's half Italian. He talks with only
gesticulation.
one hand. But it was interesting because Dr. David Chow was going over it and saying there's something wrong with there. So that with his shoulder. So he may be throwing in practice. He has to, but will it affect his accuracy? Is going to be something to watch. And if he takes a hit, falls on the shoulder, what's going to happen? So.
And can he push it downfield?
If you ask me what would scare me more, Nicky Manwari having a sprained ankle or Sam Darnold having a questionable shoulder, definitely the questionable shoulder scares me more. So it's something to watch as we go into this game.
Absolutely.
Although, wait a minute, I do want to say one thing. Dr. David Chow was the one talking about it. And did you guys see that Ryan Leaf basically got in his face on Radio Row at Super Bowl and the Super Bowl and was like screaming at him? Wow. Yeah, there might be some video. Let me look it up.
They were both with the Chargers, were they not?
They were. Okay, I've got it. Let me do a share here. I don't know exactly what happened, but Ryan Leaf, who of course is no judge of character, went off on him. Can you share that, Ryan?
Yeah. It didn't make the beat. Let me switch the screen here.
Yeah.
This up bigger there.
Well, I thought this was a video, but
this way.
All right.
That's the biggest I can make it. Was it still? I don't hear anything or see anything if you do. Mike. Can you guys see or hear anything?
Press pause, Mike.
Yeah, I don't see a it might have opened.
Those two apparently were really close, but
that quack Dr. Chow on.
You had him on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a quack, isn't he?
What happened?
Well, listen, this goes way back, right?
Yeah.
Like
there's a history there.
There's a history there. It's all about ethics for me. Like Junior played for New England. Junior was my teammate for 3 years. Those two apparently were really close, but he ended up being his drinking buddy. And then he was still prescribing him pain pills and Ambien.
You're talking about Junior Seau.
Yeah, yes. And Doc. And he was prescribing him pain pills and Ambien even after that first suicide attempt. And I think he played a role in that. He enabled the behavior, and he's just never taken any accountability for it.
Yeah.
And so I have a real problem with that. I work with a lot of former NFL players, guys who are going through real struggles that I went through, and I hate to see doctors taking advantage of that. He feels more like he was a groupie in the situation than anything else. And why couldn't he just be his friend? Why was he still writing prescriptions to him that ultimately, when you're going through a suicidal and depression things, you don't take Ambien, you don't take painkillers, right? That's stuff that takes you down the hole.
It's inappropriate.
I've had a problem with him for a long time, and I've told him that, and people have heard me from it, but this was the first time I felt confident enough that I had enough information that I could talk to him. Or not really talk to him, like confront him. My wife and I all week long knew we were probably going to run into him. So we practiced it at home. When I saw him.
Who played who?
I played myself. She played Dr. Chow.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
all right.
And I was going to take the high road, and I was going to talk, mild manner. And for whatever reason, the first person I saw on Radio Row yesterday
was him.
Now, this was a test.
Yeah.
And I failed it miserably.
Yeah.
Honey, that's not how we practiced it last night. Didn't work out the way.
8:40 a.m. yesterday
so
morning.
it was right after. So he was on with us pretty early. And then, so you run into each other here at Radio Row, which is full of...
But no one was here then.
Okay.
It was like empty space over there, and I walked by, and I don't know if it was a projection on my part or somebody looked like he gave me a little smirk or something.
Okay, yep.
I just said, you effing fraud.
Yeah. You
And
said that to him.
Yeah. And I said, you absolutely are the most despicable individual.
Did he look around and go, who, me?
No, he's just like, Ryan. And then a guy sitting next to him was like, why don't you come on the Ross Tucker show and we'll talk about all this? And I go, F you and F Ross Tucker. Poor Ross Tucker got pulled into this. The nicest guy on the planet. I swear to God, if he would have said, come on, why don't you come on WEEI and talk about this, that's what it would have come out of my mouth,
Hey, Ryan, it kind of felt good, though, didn't it?
It felt good for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Main takeaway there, Mike.
To me, that's that. I mean, Ryan Leaf is a hothead. Ryan Leaf is a jerk. Ryan Leaf still has anger issues. You can see it. You can see it right there. Having said that, I don't know, Jim. Didn't you say that it was Chow who gave the injection to Rod Taylor that punctured his lung? Wasn't it Chow?
Chow was working for San Diego at the time that happened. I'm 90% sure of that. But as far as administering the injection, I don't know if it was Chow. But shortly after, Chow went to work for the Jim Rome Network, and that's when he started his business as far as trends. He has his own football trend company. In other words, he gives that out for a price, and it's a lot of the stuff that we do on the show, but of course you're paying for it, and they're pretty accurate, and a lot of it has to do with medical problems that an individual player would have prior to the game. In other words, if just throwing that out with Drake May's shoulder, he may emphasize that ailment, and he'll adjust the point spread in accordance with a certain ailment, saying that this is not necessarily a good bet. And that was when I first heard that he had this betting trends company. I listened to a few of his programs, and he's pretty accurate in what he says. And it's not a Nostradamus thing like this is going to happen. This is likely to happen. And I think he was on staff at San Diego when this happened to Rod, when he got his lung punctured. I don't know if he was the one that actually administered the injection or attempted injection, but Ryan Leaf is a hothead. I mean, that guy's jacked now. I mean, he's not built like a quarterback. He's built like a defensive tackle. And I mean, you could see it in his face. I mean, his face was flushing up when he's talking about Chow. And Ryan Leaf is a jerk, Mike. You're right, and he's a bully too. David Chow is not a large person. And of course he's buddying up with Ross Tucker. Ross Tucker is from what I could see is just a super nice guy. And I listened to Ross. And he did play for the Browns, and Ross Tucker is a very personable individual, as far as getting his information across, and Leaf just comes across as a bully,
Hey, real quick, you talked about Ryan Leaf getting jacked. Who's this quarterback? Do you have any idea who this guy is? A former quarterback.
Is it Ryan Leaf?
Not Ryan Leaf.
Don't know.
Any other guesses?
It's not Fran Tarkenton, is it?
Did he just pass away? Did I see?
No. Sonny Jurgensen passed away.
Jurgensen, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Izzy, any guess on this former quarterback? This jacked former quarterback, married to a playmate. Tim Couch, everybody. Tim freaking Couch.
Well, wouldn't you know it'd be a Brown, Mike?
Yeah, big shot.
Likely. I don't really check out the physique of any shirtless quarterbacks per se, but it's a Cleveland Browns.
Not as if there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Let me go through some of the other injuries real quick. Linebacker Harold Landry with a knee didn't participate. Limited in another. Status day-to-day trending toward playing for New England. Robert Spillane, linebacker with an ankle, limited after missing a prior season, expected to suit up. And offensive tackle Thayer Munford Jr., knee, limited, some rest days. So essentially we got some stuff to pay attention to, but nothing too serious. Is that fair to say? Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is Drake May's shoulder. How does it look coming out of the gate? That's the biggest one.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Charles Cross too, Mike.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, did you guys see who is number 5 as far as winning MVP?
Most likely number 5? No. Does
Andre Stevenson is plus 2,800.
Does Jim Moore have anything to say about those odds?
He might.
Let's see on this one. Our favorite boy, favorite coach of all time, Mr. Mora.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked. The second half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
Okay. Fiddly poo. Nice. I don't think anyone's expecting an ass kicking in this game. We're all expecting a pretty close game, right?
Yeah.
Let me throw it to Izzy. What do you see? Do you shake your head no? You're expecting a blowout?
No, I'm not expecting a blowout, but I am sort of expecting a win over 10 points from the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, Seattle more than 10. So you're going to go ahead and give those points easy. Do you have any particular bets you want to place on this one?
I really haven't looked into it yet. Besides the show from last week, but no, not at the moment. I'll probably do something game day once I see everything official. Besides that, but yeah, I'll probably just take the Seahawks minus 6.5.
Okay. What about you guys? What is your plan for game day? Where are you watching the game, and are you placing any bets? Does anything feel so good?
I'm going to Jim's house, as far as I know, watching it over there with him and the lovely Regina, his better half.
No pizza Sunday, Mike.
Don't say that.
No. She's
We're gonna have to order Domino's. Should we bring food?
Oh, look, this house doesn't do takeout. All right, you got somebody like Regina. I mean, that would just be an insult.
And it
Let's get some takeout, Regina. No, she wouldn't talk to me for a week.
Yeah.
But no, she's got something else planned. I think it's ribs and wings.
Oh, good.
So she's going to put the ribs on the smoker.
Oh, sounds terrific. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So what about you? I mean, Jim and Regina are awesome, but they're kind of old, so they probably aren't in the mood to go out and party afterwards. So I'm just kidding, Jim. So we got to come up with another place to go after the game's over if the Seahawks win.
So how long were you in the emergency room yesterday, Mike?
Yeah. Exactly.
Just throwing it back at you, all right?
The day before yesterday.
Yeah.
Izzy, what are you doing for the game?
Let's violate some HIPAA laws here.
I'm heading to a friend's house. One of my friends has a pretty nice house. He lives in like LeBron's neighborhood, so I'm heading to his house for the game.
Don't spray paint anything on his garage door, all right? Just don't do that. Allegedly.
So the number down in LA is 6.5 is?
Oh, no. I'm just saying I take that for better odds or whatever you call it.
Well, it'd be better odds if you were taking the Patriots. You don't want to lay 6.5 with the Seahawks.
No.
No. Send Mike a blank check, and he'll get you 4.5.
I can do that. do that.
Hey, let me bounce over to this. Yesterday, there was an event with the NFL awards. The NFL honors were given out yesterday. Let's kind of see how you feel about how they wrapped up the season. MVP, Matthew Stafford. Mike, how do you feel about that?
Well,
Good.
I'm okay with it. I'm not enthusiastic about it. I mean, 2 weeks before the end of the season, there are 3 weeks, they lost to the Falcons. He threw three interceptions. He didn't look that good in the playoffs. He looked great against us, but I continue to maintain that the reason he looks great against us is because we don't pressure him. We lay back and he carves you up when you give him time. And I don't think we've played Stafford right, like the right way. But I think he's probably the best player out there. I mean, if you ask me, would I swap Sam Darnold for Matthew Stafford in this game, my answer would be yes, because the laser balls that come off that guy's arm are fantastic. But you can pressure him into bad games. And I think he's the MVP, but I'm not enthusiastic about it. But look, here's the thing: because it's only, Drake May. Maybe Drake May will surprise me, and I'll be singing his praises on Monday after the fantastic game he has. But I don't see him anywhere close to Matthew Stafford. And anybody who voted for Drake May, like I don't know, Mina Kimes. You're just stupid if you vote for him. The only other contender, I think, was Myles Garrett, who, the thing is, this award now it's just a quarterback award. So why don't they just call it the quarterback award? Because it's like, who's the one player in the league that we don't have that if I could have, I'd want? And with the roster that the Seahawks have now, I'd want Puka Nacua to go opposite Jackson Smith-Njigba. So is he the MVP? Is JSN the MVP? I don't know.
We can talk about JSN because they gave him AP Offensive Player of the Year.
I mean, is Matthew Stafford the MVP? Yeah, I guess so. But I think Myles Garrett had the best season, and he got acknowledged as Defensive Player of the Year. But it's just not, to me, it's not right. Like, if Myles Garrett was on the Seahawks, there'd be no question who was going to win this game on Sunday. None. So I don't know what to say about that. Whereas if Matthew Stafford was on the Seahawks roster, we'd be in about the same situation, I think. So I don't know. How valuable is Matthew Stafford really? I don't know.
I'll throw that question, how valuable and did he deserve it, to Jim, but the full voting breakdown, I'm like, how many votes did Myles Garrett get? How many would you guess that he got? Matthew Stafford got 366 points with 24 first-place votes. What would you guess Garrett got?
I have no idea.
He's not even on the list here. They said others receiving first-place votes, Justin Herbert with 1. But the top 5 were Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen, Drake May, and Matthew Stafford. Myles Garrett wasn't even in the top 5. So, yeah, it's sort of just turned into a quarterback award.
Wait a minute, you're telling me
his team sucks.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that. I mean, these voters, they don't necessarily look at your play. They look at your family.
Yep.
What's your family tree? And what Izzy says is absolutely correct. And their whole theory is that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's another thing I don't like with the NBA and NFL is that teams, when the MVP award comes out, it's due to team success. I could kind of understand that, but there's other factors that play into it. Like if you take that person off that team, how much better will will the team still be as competitive as they are? And I feel like that should be a factor. And
that should be the determining factor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you take this guy away and put in another person, it's like war in baseball. I forgot what it is, but it's like, say if you take that person away or add that person to the team, how many more games will they win that season? So it's like, and generally sometimes you see players and you're like, this player is way better than them, but they're on a horrible team. Imagine if you took that person away from that horrible team. They'd be way worse. So it's just a huge weird thing I don't understand.
I just want to clarify one thing, though. Justin Herbert got a first place MVP vote, and Russell Wilson in his entire career never got a vote ever at any level. Okay, guess what? NFL honors system is completely fucking broken. It's completely fucking broken, and they need to completely redo how these awards are selected.
Yeah, also the Pro Bowl as well. The Pro Bowl was a helping determining factor of the Hall of Fame. Now you got, I wish I had the picture, but it's pretty funny. It's Shadur Sanders, Joe Burrow, and Joe Flacco all on the Pro Bowl AFC QB sideline. It's like,
What?
it's like what are we doing out here? So
Browns have 2
it's
Pro
pretty
Bowl
interesting.
quarterbacks this year, Brian. So yeah, I mean,
Of course we do.
you know,
Yeah, we got the only 2 quarterbacks willing to accept it. The rest are like, nah, I'm busy.
Well, the MVP odds came out. I took a screenshot of this a couple of days ago. Sam Darnold was plus 120, which is at the top of the MVP list. Drake May was plus 235. Jackson Smith-Njigba plus 550. So in other words, if you laid 100 with Njigba, you could win 550 and get your bet back. Kenneth Walker plus 650 was number 4. And as we talked about before, our friend Ramondre was number 5. But it went from plus 650 to plus 2,800. So the difference between Kenneth Walker and Ramondre is exponentially wider. I mean, you could take that same 100 and lay it on Ramondre and get plus 2,800 instead of laying it. And a lot of it would have to do with who wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, who wins the game? Yep.
Exactly. So if the Patriots were to win the Super Bowl, Ramondre would be a good bet if you think that the Patriots are going to actually win the game. Not cover the number, win the game.
yeah.
And number 6 on the list was Rashid Shaheed, and he was plus 3,000.
What?
Ooh.
Which is 200 more dollars that you're going to make other than betting Stevenson. So there were 4 in the top 6, 4 Seahawks and 2 Patriots.
Wow, interesting.
All right.
Well, they're the 2 teams in a Super Bowl, so fair is fair, I guess. But the system is broken.
And it's a lot of what Izzy says is fact. MVP shouldn't be. You shouldn't look at it as MVP for the National Football League because they don't play a game for the National Football League. They play a game for their team. And what Izzy says is absolutely correct. How would that team perform if that player were benched?
Yeah.
So would the Browns play exponentially worse because Myles Garrett was injured and couldn't play in the game? Yeah, probably they would. They would not nearly be as good a football team with Garrett sitting on the wood.
But this award is supposed to be who's the best football player this year. That's who it's supposed to be.
That is a factor, yes.
I suppose it's Stafford. But
it says most valuable player, and that has to do with the team that you're playing for. And Njigba should be at the top of that list because if he were not in this game, I guarantee you that point spread goes up.
Well, furthermore,
or goes down. I'm sorry.
If we were not on this team, the Seahawks would not be here in this game. They would have been knocked out.
Yeah. And that is an argument for MVP. You make my argument for me, Mike.
Yeah, well, I was trying to.
Yeah,
and it's tough too when you're trying to compare players that made it to the Super Bowl versus everybody from the rest of the league.
It's interesting when you look at the awards, and maybe Brian, you can put the awards up on the screen if you can find them. I don't have a problem with any of them really. Matthew Stafford MVP, JSN Offensive Player of the Year. I feel bad for Puka Nacua because he deserves an award for the season he had, but I don't have a single problem with JSN winning it. I mean, I think he was just slightly better than.
Yeah, I'd say both players deserved it. It's just one was out more time than the other. So, yeah.
Defensive player of the year usually goes to the guy with the most sacks. I mean, there were years I thought Richard Sherman easily should have won it, and they gave it to J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, who missed half the games, because he had the most sacks. Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's going to go to a guy who scores touchdowns. I think that's a weak award, but I don't know who I would have picked instead. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I would have picked Eman but it went to Schlesinger. 2 Cleveland Browns. Comeback Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. I guess there was nobody else, but sort of. Did he not play last year? I mean, he played. Man of the Year, Bobby Wagner's a good guy, so I don't know. Protector of the Year for offensive lineman, Joe Tooney. I don't know. And Assistant Coach of the Year, Josh McDaniels. I mean, to me, it's not right for Mike Vrabel to win Coach of the Year and McDaniels to win Assistant Coach of the Year, because I think Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak are just as deserving. So it seems like what they kind of did was they tried to spread the awards around to those that were deserving, right? But there's a few I object to, but not super significant. I mean, you can make a case Vrabel's Coach of the Year. You can make a case McDonald's is Coach of the Year. So
I think maybe what they're acknowledging there, or at least leaning toward, is that Patriots are not on the same level as the Seahawks. Like they have better players and better teams.
You look at these awards. What are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 awards. Take out the Walter Payton. So there's 9 awards. 7 of them went to guys in the Eastern Time Zone. Who's the majority of the voters? East Coast sports writers. So to me, that's bullshit. So
I think Liam Cohen got the second amount of votes, did he not?
Yeah, which again, so 8 out of 10 East Coast guys. So there's an inherent bias against West Coast players and coaches. There just is, and that's why I think the system is screwed up. We got it this week in the Hall of Fame vote. And again, these are East Coast sports writers that are dominating these votes, and I think these awards need to be taken away as official NFL awards. They need to be taken away from the sports writers.
And hands down, not for nothing, but the best division in football is the NFC West.
Yeah, and there's there's very little there. I mean, for me, I would get rid of the Pro Bowl, and I would have a first, second, and third team All-Pro team. It would not be the AP. It would be the votes would be split up. Yeah. 1/3 fans, 1/3 players and coaches, and 1/3 the current sports writers. And that, I think, you get a much more balanced award system.
Essentially, they did. They did take that animal in the backyard and put a bullet in its head. The Pro Bowl's been, put to rest. They were spending a lot of money, sending these players to the Aloha Bowl and whatever, wherever they played in Hawaii. And then they moved it to Orlando, Florida, because it's less expensive to fly players to Florida. And then they just put that dog down.
Yeah.
And it was a joke. I mean, it was worse than watching the NBA All-Star game.
I mean, this Hall of Fame class, I just think it sucks. I mean, Luke Kuechly, no.
Kuechly was awesome, but he
played
6 years.
He played like 6 or 7 years, and he had a bunch of concussions, and he was a terrific player. And I think eventually he should get in, but he's one of those guys that should get in like in his 15th year. Drew Brees, not a first ballot Hall of Famer, a system quarterback who got rid of the ball quickly. No. Didn't do that much his first 3 years in the league. Got into the right perfect system, but a system quarterback.
Yeah, I agree, and probably Breeze's ticket to ride is the fact that he got the Saints their first Super Bowl.
Yeah, and well, if that counts, then Russ will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Roger Craig, he was a really good back, and a deserved Pro Bowler. But I mean, a Hall of Famer. A Hall of Famer is somebody like Eric Dickerson, who you take one wrong angle and he's exploding for 80 yards up the field. Roger Craig was not in that class. He was a good player, but another guy that maybe I don't know how many years he was eligible, probably 10 or 15 years. Maybe he got in around the right time, but I don't really think he's a Hall of Famer. And, Larry Fitzgerald, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Fitzgerald is definitely a Hall of Famer. And Izzy's point, Fitzgerald played for a bad football team.
Yeah.
But
Fitzgerald's 100% Hall of
You
Famer.
put Fitzgerald down, and that bad football team,
Yeah, and I did say yes, and he also had the largest head of any football player I have ever seen. Have you ever seen his helmet? Looked like one of those concussion helmet things, but it was a regular helmet. I mean, the guy had the most enormous fucking head I've ever seen in my life. He's a great player. Would have loved to have had him.
The person that should be in the Hall of Fame that is not, and I don't understand, is Jim Plunkett.
Yeah, I don't see how you can
Jim Plunkett played in the league 16, 17 years, was drafted by the New England Patriots, was traded to the Oakland Raiders and played for Oakland and the Los Angeles Raiders and won 2 Super Bowls as a starting quarterback for the Raiders.
And was fantastic. I mean, he picked up a pretty mediocre Raiders team and took them to 2 Super Bowls.
Not only that, he was MVP of one of those Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I know. I mean, Adam Vinatieri, but he's a kicker,
Yeah, well, there's how many kickers are in the Hall of Fame? Jan Stenerud?
Garo Upremian, is he in the Hall of Fame?
No, I don't think so. Ray Guy is in the Hall of Fame from the Raiders.
Punter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a punter, but still, all he does is put his foot on the football.
Yeah.
So he's a kicker.
Yeah, I think Vinatieri is an easy one for me. I think Drew Brees is easy for me. Luke Kuechly, he didn't have as long of a career.
Me personally, I like Luke Kuechly. I mean, if he was healthy, I believe he would have been the greatest linebacker of all time. But he should have waited a bit longer compared to other people.
I mean, Kuechly to me is a prime example of what gets under my skin, which is the East Coast bias in all these awards and all these votes. This is a guy who would have had to wait 5 or 10 years to get in if he ever got in, if he played on the West Coast.
Yeah, there's a Jaguar too that escapes my mind that got in, and I forget his name, but he was always hurt. I think he was
Tony Baselli.
Tony Baselli.
Yeah. Baselli was a fantastic player, but he played about half the games he was
exactly. Yeah.
Right. So, but I mean,
if Charles Barkley played football, he would call Baselli street clothes.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Kuechly, again, if he played for the Chargers or the Broncos, I don't think he's in this.
No.
How about another linebacker with massive pedigree? Clay Matthews should be in the Hall of Fame, and he should have been there for 20 years.
Clay Matthews should have been in a long time ago. There's a guy named Carl Mecklenburg who you've never heard of.
Bronco.
The White Rhino.
Was a game wrecker. This guy was an absolute game wrecker for 9 years in the league.
With Elway.
Doesn't even get a sniff. Never even gets into the finals. And I'm sorry, if that guy played for the Giants, he would have been in 15, 20 years ago. And it's just it's just wrong, and it gets
Mecklenburg. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can you pull up the new Hall of Fame class, like the people who can get inducted now that just got added?
Well, I mean,
they came out with it yesterday.
I don't have that list on me. If one of you guys can grab it, but
I was gonna say you could look it up on Grok or something.
Yeah, let me just address this. I just want to mention Larry Fitzgerald has more career tackles
than catches
passes,
or drops. Yeah,
that's one of the craziest stats I've ever heard. And referencing what you were mentioning about kickers in the Hall of Fame, Lou the Toe Groza, Cleveland Brown, Lou the Toe Groza, George Blanda, Jan Stenerud, Morton Anderson. Like 30 years.
Played for the Saints. Yeah.
That's a pretty fair list, I think. That's a pretty fair list. And kickers, is part of the game, I guess.
I mean, look, the thing is, if Kuechly gets in second year, to me, Bobby Wagner better get in the first year that he's up.
Yeah, George Blanda played till he was like 44, 45 years old.
Yeah.
So,
But the thing is, it's also about if you're famous, right? And that's the Hall of Fame. These are famous players, players who played in famous games, who made famous plays.
Yeah.
You know, there was a guy, Ken Stabler, who was quarterback for the Raiders, also led them to their first Super Bowl. Left-handed quarterback, not a great athlete. Used to go out drinking before the game every night, right? And there was a guy named Paul Zimmerman who had so much influence with the Hall of Fame committee that he kept him out of the Hall of Fame for 15 years. And Paul Zimmerman had to freaking die. I'm not even sure if Stabler still is in. But it's like, because he hated him, because apparently Stabler slept with the guy's wife at some point. So that's how ridiculous this process is. And
I
again,
don't think Stabler is in. Didn't he? He got traded. He finished his career with the Oilers, didn't he, Mike?
yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
But you know, he was one of the most famous football players of his era, and he exemplified the Raiders of the time. And yeah, he's got like literally every. Oh no, he's now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you a list.
This guy Zimmerman, this East Coast guy who lived around Washington and covered the Redskins, he had to die before Ken Stabler got in. So it's just wrong. I think we need new processes for all these things. One, get rid of the Pro Bowl. Just first, second, and third team All Pro. 1/3 fans, 1/3 coaches and players, and 1/3 the sports writers. And that I think will be a much more balanced Hall of Fame and annual award thing.
Let me ask you guys, what do you make of the fact that Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick did not get in? Let's go around the horn. Get your thoughts on Belichick and Kraft being snubbed, Mike.
Well, Belichick supposedly didn't get in because people felt like he cheated. It's just sore losers who couldn't beat the Patriots. And yeah, did the Patriots cheat? Yeah. I will say this: if Bill Belichick has to wait a year, then Tom Brady should have to wait a year because Tom Brady cheated too. And you don't believe me? Go read my article about Deflategate. Tom Brady knew all about it. There's no question about that. And it was done deliberately, and it was with intention. So that's all I got to say about that. And it seems like some of the people who, voted against Belichick voted against or did not vote for Robert Kraft for the same reason. But, I think the NFL it's off on the wrong track. The way it's treating its fans, the halftime shows, the globalism, all of the shit that they're doing is not very popular. And Robert Kraft is the architect of a lot of this stuff. He really is. And I think there's some people that were not happy about that. So, the Patriots got jobbed because, like they said, if Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, I don't know who is.
Yeah, and Rob Gronkowski was joking about it. Like, if someone asked him, I don't know if it was Rich Eisen or someone, he's like, imagine how many Super Bowls I would have had if I had a Hall of Fame coach. Just imagine how much better my career would have been.
Yeah, that was good.
It's pretty funny. And we will talk about the halftime show, and Izzy shared a commercial for the Super Bowl. He's like, what? What is this about? We'll get to that in a second. But Jim, what do you make of the Patriots brass not getting in the Hall of Fame here?
Yeah, I can. At first glance, it was a shock that Belichick didn't get in first ballot, but I don't understand how they can put. No offense, they can put Jerry Jones in the Hall of Fame and not Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft has
Jerry Jones bought the most money into the NFL.
Yeah,
and franchise in sports.
He's got a lot of influence, and he's a lot more vocal than Robert Kraft.
Honestly, I'm surprised Robert Kraft's not in for other reasons. But
have you ever seen Jerry Jones moonwalk away from a microphone? No. If there's a microphone in front of Jerry Jones, you're going to get a good soundbite, and a lot of it is exposure. But Robert Kraft bought the team from Omar Khayyam. A lot of you people that are not alive, that were not alive then, Omar Khayyam owned Gillette razors, and that's why Gillette Stadium was named Gillette Stadium at the time. And he bought the team from Omar Khayyam. The only indiscretion that I could see that Kraft had that might have kept him out was they went to a Super Bowl, and I believe it was in Florida, and Robert Kraft got caught in a prostitution sting, where he was getting a massage, at a massage parlor in I believe it was Miami, where they were playing at the time Joe Robbie Stadium, and he got caught up in that, and I don't know if he was actually physically booked. He might have been a Class 2 citation, which what they normally do in a prostitution situation, but he got caught up in that, and that may be, the only black mark, and they may say, okay, you're going to say 3 Our Fathers and 2 Hail Marys, Bob.
Well, I mean, you're not going to get in the Hall of Fame your first time around, which is
right.
Extraordinary. And I mean, he went to a massage parlor for a rub and a tuck, and it's like, wow, that's why does a billionaire have to do that?
He doesn't have to.
Did he want to?
Thoughts on the Patriots?
Yeah, like I said, Robert Kraft should be in the Hall of Fame for other reasons. But I was going to say the next year's Hall of Fame class, or who are eligible for first year, is Joe Hayden, Ryan Kerrigan, Malcolm Jenkins, Brandon Brooks, Donta Hightower, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Cam Newton, Gerald McCoy, Andrew Whitworth, Alex Mack, Richard Sherman, Eric Weddle, Ben Roethlisberger, Rob Gronkowski, and Adrian Peterson.
Gronk, AP. Who was the other one? The last 3: Gronk, Adrian Peterson, and
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, they're all easy first ballot.
Yeah, you could put Sherman there too. I think Sherman.
I say Antonio Brown's first ballot.
Antonio Brown's going to end up doing his push-ups. He ain't going in first ballot.
Really?
Oh yeah.
After the career he had, I mean, he was
career Shamir. Antonio Brown is a whack.
Huge.
Well, it's going to be funny if he once he does get elected into the Hall of Fame.
I'll tell you what, it is. We'll make a side bet if you'd like. Anything you want to put up, I'll cover.
Yeah, I don't think Antonio Brown is very well liked by the press. I think he's going to have.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's well. I mean, yeah, of course he's not well liked. I'm just saying it'd be funny to see him one day get the gold jacket put around him.
Mike, did you?
Because me personally, undoubtedly, I believe Antonio Brown was the best receiver in the 2010s. But I mean, his off the field and on the field shenanigans are another question. But I'm just saying they just allowed him for eligibility and pretty fast. So
he'll have to sell the gold jacket to make his child support payments.
Brady, when he went to the Patriots, Brady opened up the door for him and put him up in his mansion. Didn't even say, go look for a place to live, Antonio. You're playing with us. And oddly enough, he followed him to the Buccaneers. And what the hell does he do? He strips off his jersey. He's standing in the end zone and just undresses himself. You're putting that in the Hall of Fame? I'm voting no.
Yeah, that was pretty strange. Mike, did you hear any names on that list other than Roethlisberger, Adrian Peterson, and what the other one is he? Gronkowski. They're all great.
Gronk is first ballot.
Oh yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson's first ballot. Yeah.
Actually, will Ben Roethlisberger and Adrian Peterson be punished for the raping and for the Adrian Peter? What was it? He got arrested for abusing his kid.
He was beating his child.
Around, yeah, he slapped his kids around.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger to me is a marginal Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player, but
well, if he doesn't get in, he'll be the fourth quarterback with 2 Super Bowls. Not in the Hall of Fame.
And I think he'll eventually go. But I don't know that first year eligible that I would vote for him. I wouldn't. So.
And then you got some wild cards in Cam Newton and Le'Veon Bell, which is pretty funny to me.
Oh, Cam Newton and
Cam Newton? No. I'm not going to jump on that fumble during the Super Bowl, Cam Newton, because I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. That screams Hall of Fame to me.
Yeah, that's going to haunt him. But I mean, I don't know.
You don't remember that, Brian?
Oh yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
What I was looking at here, though, I was looking at a key first-time eligible players for 25 that weren't in 24. Is it true Marshawn Lynch and Earl Thomas and Aqib Talib, weren't they all Seahawks?
Yeah, no, Keep Talib was never a Seahawk, but Earl Thomas and Marshawn, yeah, they've been gone.
Thomas and Marshawn, yeah.
Should
Is
they have
Marshawn on the ballot?
No, he probably already is. These are just new people who are eligible for next year.
Yeah,
Marshawn will go. I don't know if he'll go first ballot, but he will. I mean, the mark that he put on the NFL was that run in the playoff game against the Saints. I think everybody on the defensive team actually touched him before he went in the end zone.
Yeah,
maybe twice, like
Well,
the game at Tecmo Bowl.
With Marshawn Lynch, it's like if Jerome Bettis is in the Hall of Fame, Marshawn Lynch is certainly a Hall of Fame.
100%, yeah.
That kind of comparison for me. So
Yeah.
you know,
Some of the names on this list are Antoine Bethea, Darren Sproles, Delanie Walker, Vernon Davis, Ryan Khalil, Travis Frederick, Joe Staley, Demarius Thomas, Aqib Talib, Earl Thomas, Marshall Yonda, Marshawn Lynch, Terrell Suggs, and Eli Manning. At least Grok is telling me those are first-time players that did not get in this year.
I don't know if Vernon Davis makes it either. I mean that was one of the greatest sound bites when Mike Singletary, when he was coach of the 49ers.
yeah.
Can't play with him, won't play with him. You know, he sat him down during the game. That was Vernon Davis. But Vernon Davis turned around his career, you know, and he turned out to be a hell of a football player.
Yeah,
and Singletary was just alluding to the fact that he wasn't a team player at the time.
A me guy.
Exactly. Yeah. But he turned his ass around, and Vernon Davis became a very good. And again, it's the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Very Good.
Well, Kenneth is saying call it the Hall of Lame. If they're going to act like this, call it the Hall of Lame.
Yeah.
What about Eli Manning? Should Eli Manning be in there?
Yeah, he should be there. In there. Yes. He beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl at the biggest moment when it matters, and outplayed Tom Brady. And yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Is he the best quarterback ever? No, but
four quarterbacks with 2 Super Bowl wins, not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and
Eli's the other one.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think Eli's definitely a Hall of Famer.
All right,
I mean, he stopped the undefeated season for the Patriots. He did. So.
We all owe a debt of gratitude for that, I think.
Yeah.
Let me run through a couple of these. What do you think? MVP here, this would be most valuable predator for Justin Tucker. You think that's a pretty good one? He could have had.
Why do they got Bill Cosby behind him?
You got Cosby behind him? Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. This is a great thread here. Oh, here we go. Buzz through them. How about this one for Geno Smith? Defensive Player of the Year. Geno Smith.
That's mean. That's just mean.
But he sort of earned it, right? What about this one? Shouldn't have comeback Player of the Year. JJ McCarthy. Is he? You feel a certain way about JJ, don't you?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The Geno one's even funnier. I mean, he has a good soundbite too. He's like, if you're having a bad day, blame it on me.
Yeah.
if you fail the test at school, blame it on me. Everybody want to blame it on me. So yeah.
Izzy, this is another one. This is schedule of the year. You've brought this up. This is
great. Oh yeah, 100%. Yep.
They had the easiest schedule in the path. How about least valuable player, CJ Stroud?
Jeez, what has happened to my guy CJ?
He had a down year for sure. How about choker of the year? Does Josh Allen get that, or did he get robbed by the refs?
No, me personally, I have no ill intention against Josh Allen.
Josh has had some bad breaks from the officials over the years for sure.
Yeah, that was a tough one. How about least improved player, Justin Fields?
Yeah, pretty much.
The boys.
Well, you go from bad to worse. I mean, a lot of it isn't Justin. A lot of it's the organization.
Yeah, I do believe that.
And the Bears have just turned it around. You know, it's coaching. It's coaching, and with the Jets, it's ownership. You know, you got the ambassador to Ireland that owns the Jets. How invested is he in the New York Jets?
Exactly.
Not a lot. I mean, Justin Fields played good with the Steelers. So
for a few games.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they pulled him for Russell Wilson, but
Let's go from
No, sorry.
LIP, least improved player, to CTE, Cam Scattaboo. He's already got it. That's a little mean there. Hypothetical player of the year, Justin Herbert. Izzy, this is your dude. Hypothetical player of the year.
I see a lot of that on TikTok already.
Hypothetical player of the year.
Nobody knows yet.
Protector of the year.
We're so on in the league.
Potty. Poty. Moment of the year, Dak Prescott and Jalen Carter's spit off.
Yeah, that's it. That's the best moment of the year. Yep.
Nothing more iconic this year, is there? How about degenerate coach of the year, Dan Campbell? I don't know about that. Did he earn that? That seems a little unfair. Max Brosmer, 4 interceptions in Week 13. He gets performance of the year.
Yeah, thanks. That was an easy win.
Kicker of the year, Tyler Loop. What is this? Least value? What's that?
Nothing.
Least valuable team physician, Dr. Tim McAdams.
Good.
Coach of the year, Raheem Morris. He survived, right?
No, he
did not. He's gone. He's gone.
It's got to be Aaron Glenn that survived. How did he survive?
Kevin Stefanski, the most valuable coach to pick up. Trayvon Diggs, offensive player of the year for the Packers there. I don't know.
Cowboys.
Woody Johnson, owner of the year. Poor Jets. Maybe the only franchise worse. Walter Payton, man of the year. Mark Sanchez.
Not Walter Payton, man of the year, Mark Sanchez. The dirty Sanchez.
The dirty Sanch. All right, and then it gets back to the top. That was kind of fun. Okay, let's talk Super Bowl halftime show and commercials. Izzy, you brought up a commercial that bugged you. I don't know if you want to talk about that. Or Mike, if you want to talk about the halftime show, are you going to watch the Puppy Bowl? Are you going to watch Bad Bunny's dress malfunction? Are you going to watch the Turning Point USA Kid Rock Fiesta?
I don't know, whatever Jim turns on the remote, but I'm not watching Bad Bunny, whoever that is.
I have no idea what Bad Bunny does.
There's a much bigger geopolitical thing going on with Roger Goodell that I don't really want to talk about right now. And it's the halftime show used to be coveted. Now it's become a joke. And that's all I can say about it. So
yeah, the halftime, we will be turning on the Weather Channel. I mean, where are these alternative halftime shows going to be? I've seen that there was a quasi country and western halftime show, and they've got all these alternative halftime shows, and everybody's punning, because Bad Bunny's getting all this bad press.
Country music sucks worse than Spanish hip hop. Okay, it does. It just sucks more. I don't want country music. Just I'm old. Bring Kiss out. Let's just do that. But Kiss, yeah. Puppy Bowl, old people.
You gonna dig up Ace Frehley or what?
Well, yeah. I mean, Tommy's replaced him for years now, so it's an unnecessary foul, self-inflicted wound by the NFL to bring this divisive guy, girl, guy, whatever he is, into this thing. He doesn't even speak English, so. The NFL hates their fans. That's all I can say. Robert Kraft, Jerry Jones, Roger Goodell, they hate us. They hate the football fans.
Mike, there's another definition of degenerate too. Anybody that goes down to Harmon and Koval to watch a Kiss tribute band is a degenerate.
Hey, what about Mini Kiss? You could always watch Mini Kiss.
Mini Kiss is good.
I know. I saw them in Hollywood.
I like Mini Kiss.
I love it.
No offense.
None taken. The Turning Point USA All-American Alternative for people who love football, America, good music, and Jesus. It's going to have country artist Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, Gabby.
Right, yeah.
And Kid Rock. I know Kid Rock, and he puts on a hell of a show, so I will watch that. But yeah, you can watch that on the TPUSA social media channels. It'll be on X and Rumble and YouTube and stuff. Izzy, any thoughts on halftime or any of the commercials? I don't know if you sent a message out about a certain commercial you watched. I don't know if you wanted to get into it or just leave it be. That's your call.
Yeah, I'll probably leave it be.
All right.
Just in case. Future. Thanks.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Then I guess we will probably leave it all there. Is there any other odds and ends that we didn't get into today for the final pre-Super Bowl show?
Yeah, I've got two things to bring up.
a quote as well, Joe.
I have a You know, in the playoffs so far, Drake May
Playoffs.
Drake May's completion percentage. Any idea what that is?
Drake May
So far?
completion percentage in the playoffs. How well is he?
45%.
55%.
55, 10% off.
What is the league average? Or what makes a good quarterback? What is the number you're supposed to be at?
Well, Mike should know that off the top of his head.
I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
And the second thing, the Patriots played 11 games this year where the coach was either fired or let go.
That's
right
funny.
after that game.
And that's a fact. 11 games this year where either the coach was fired or let go.
Now, didn't you used to have a stat if you played the 49ers or the Lions, you had a rough week the next week? It was those two teams, right?
Yeah, that doesn't apply because we got 2 weeks off here. So
Yep.
Fair.
We should also look at the backup quarterbacks they played.
Right. We got time to heal.
They played all the backup quarterbacks, Izzy, the terrible
Yep.
the luck of the draw. Yeah, I think Seattle is a much better team. But my God, if you could ever consider a Super Bowl to be a trap game, it feels like one. It just feels like Seattle is a much better team, and that worries me. Not that they're not well coached, not that they're not professionals. It's just it feels unbalanced to me, and I'm curious to see how that's going to manifest. Obviously, they have good coaching and good pedigree over there with New England, but I don't know. Looking forward to it.
I don't think that there's a lot of disparity in this game, really. I
Really?
don't.
Okay, so 4.5. Okay, then let's buzz around final thoughts, gentlemen. Mike, sum it up for us.
I just think it's a close game through 2.5, 3 quarters, and then I think the Seahawks pull away and probably win 31-20. I don't see the Patriots, unless there's a lot of injuries on the Seahawks defense. I don't see the Patriots getting more than 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals, and 20 points is not going to be enough to win this game. So I look for the Seahawks to win 31-20, 34-20, something like that.
All right, Izzy, what say you?
Yeah, somewhere around the same. I do see the Patriots score more than like somewhere around 14 to 17 points, but I still do believe that the Seahawks will come out on top by more than a touchdown. So
I think we might be unanimous here, Jim.
No, we're not unanimous. If you need to make a bet on this game just for entertainment purposes, I would probably keep it at a minimum. Unlike what Mr. Robinson said last week. Mr. Robinson said that if he owned a home, he would mortgage his home and place everything on the Seahawks. I am a Seahawk fan. I would not do that in this game.
I saw someone on TikTok. They put their savings up. This 20-year-old put like 33,000 down on the Seahawks one because he's a lifetime Seahawks fan.
I mean,
and I think the payouts
grand is pretty good.
The payout's 49, so he'll make what 16,000.
Wow. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make it official. I'm going to go ahead and pick Seattle in the game picker. I just yeah, that's straight up. That's pretty obvious. Mike, what say you, sir?
Yeah, I got the Seahawks to win.
Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks to win, but not necessarily to cover.
Okay.
Just remember that stat that we gave last week in the Super Bowl since 2003. Teams that had a first-round bye, the Seahawks, in the playoffs versus a team that did not have a bye, the Patriots, are 0-10 against the spread. And they are 1-9 straight up. And the only game that disputed that stat, that won straight up, were the Steelers. They beat the Cardinals in 2009.
That was a great one, too.
Just remember that stat when this game's played.
All right. Well, let's wind it down. Mike, you did a fun show. If you want to tell people about it and remind people where they can follow you.
Oh, yeah, over on the Y-Files YouTube channel, there's a 3.5-hour interview with me and AJ Gentili, the creator of the Y-Files. It's pretty spectacular. I watched it last night myself.
Yeah, I watched it last night too. It was great.
Not anything. I look really puffy because I was on a high dose steroids, but I look really fat. But other than that, I was really happy with it. I mean, the level of content was really high, and get over there and watch it. It's a good interview. It's fun. Talk about a lot.
Tell people just in a sentence or two. You have no idea. You're just like, what is all this shit? Because if you haven't been studying this for decades, like it's too much. Like the Epstein file. A lot
of aliens, a lot of Kennedy assassination stuff, a lot of everything comes down to money or aliens, and it was just really a fun interview, really great.
What stood out to you is?
Yeah, same thing. Just JFK, aliens, stuff about the moon. It was really interesting. But yeah, me personally, I thought JFK got deleted from Minecraft for other reasons, but it was pretty interesting to hear another reason why. So
yeah, and you gotta look at are these other reasons really important enough to take that risk of killing the president in public? And I don't know if they are, but I think what I'm talking about, that he was going to reveal aliens in some way, shape, or form, that's enough reason to take the risk of killing the president in broad daylight. But we'll see. We'll see what eventually comes out. I just think we got to look at all the possibilities here.
Kenneth says he's rooting for New England because he has money on him. He doesn't really care. But he's asking Mike, any thoughts? Will we get an EBS at halftime?
Nope.
No electronic broadcast or emergency broadcast.
Nothing happens till after the game is over.
and Kenneth says you didn't look fat, you looked PHAT, which means cool. You looked cool. All right, then let's throw it to you, and we'll wrap this up. Jim, you usually have a great quote for us.
I usually do, but I don't tonight.
Okay, so be it.
Enjoy the game. Enjoy the game, and don't watch halftime. It'll destroy your mind. So turn on Mike's YouTube of his show and get a preview of that. Did you know that Mike was so smart, Izzy, before watching that? You had no idea, did you?
It's funny because Brian, he always like, oh yeah.
Izzy's like, no.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, Mike does all this and that, like he's on these TV shows. I'm like, I never knew that until I watched. I'm like, wow, because
pick up the old Ancient Aliens shows and watch some of those when him and Giorgio Tsoukalos were best friends.
Yeah, because even like I said, most of the stuff, like I've looked into it, like I said, I'm pretty like surface level on half the things, but like I said, it's really interesting to see most of this stuff. Which, I mean, I'm not huge on certain things, but like I could sort of agree and believe on most of the stuff.
I have a different perspective on most of these well-known issues than most people do, and it comes from just looking at all the information. And a lot of people don't do that; they don't go very deep. So that's all it is.
And I think we've all been encouraging Izzy to maybe consider Space Force instead of Air Force. But,
yes, we want to see Space Force. So you can
my grandpa, he worked for Boeing as well too. So
cool.
Nice. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Viewers out there, thank you so much. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. Go Super Bowl, man. I'm looking forward to it. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Hopefully it's going to be a fantastic, interesting, entertaining game. And yes, we seem to all be rooting for the Seahawks, so go Seahawks. All right. Have a great rest of your Friday and a fantastic weekend. Signing out on behalf of everybody here at the TNAM Universe. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
I'm Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.